So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. And he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never did. I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, you know, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as though.
So we just, had a lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
A lot of, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing, and they always look at Jay like, oh yeah.
But that's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo, smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene.
Jim Jones just poked the wrong bear because Uncle Murda is not letting that slide. Jim tried to clown Tony Yayo for saying 50 Cent treats his people better than Jay-Z. But that move backfired fast. Uncle Murda, who's been deep in both Rockefeller and Gina circles, jumped in to set the record straight. And the internet, it's losing its mind. Murda laid it out plain. 50's been feeding his day one for decades. He keeps his circle tight, keeps his people paid, and that loyalty, unshakable. Meanwhile, with Jay-Z, it's different. Once you stop being useful, that Rock Nation brunch invite evaporates real quick. Fans started saying Jay runs things like a corporation. No emotions, no loyalty, just contracts and deals. But with 50, it's not business, it's family. That's the difference. Murda didn't just talk. He proved it with receipts. Now, let's rewind for a second. This all kicked off when Tony Yayo sat down for an interview and dropped some...
Spoke about how...
Jay don't look out
for Bleak like Fifth look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean?
All right, okay.
I'm chewing halal on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece and more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece and more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where 50 was helping Siegel.
Real talk. No sugarcoating, no filters, just truth. He said straight up that Jay doesn't look out for his people like 50 does. And that one comment, it hit fans hard. Because deep down, a lot of folks already knew. Yayo just said what everyone was thinking. According to Tony Yayo, 50 Cent has always made sure his people were good. No questions asked. He put his crew on tour, gave them cameos on TV, and brought them into every business move he could. When 50 wins, everybody eats. He flies his team out, keeps them visible, keeps them relevant. And all he's ever asked for in return, one thing, loyalty. That's why they still stand beside him today. But then came Jim Jones, and that's when things got messy. During a chat with Memphis Bleak, Jim started clowning Yayo, calling him broke and saying he's still depending on 50 to keep him alive. The shade was real. But Uncle Murda wasn't having it. He jumped in fast and dropped a line that shook the whole internet. Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers. That one sentence had social media on fire. Jim tried to laugh it off, but he couldn't hide the salt. He started firing back, talking reckless about Yayo needing hygiene, calling him broke, saying he needs help and that 50's just keeping him fed. But fans weren't buying it, because Yayo's been there since the get rich or die trying days, and the man's still touring globally because 50 keeps his people working. That's not pity, that's power. See, what Murda said hit deep because it was true. Jay-Z builds empires, but 50 builds bonds. Jay runs business like a CEO, emotionless, strategic, always about the brand. But 50, he's about the brotherhood. When you're in his circle, it's for life. Murda wasn't just offending 50. He was exposing the difference between corporate loyalty and real loyalty. And the internet? Completely divided. Some people rode for Jim, saying Yayo's still living off 50, and that Jay doesn't need to flex his generosity online. They claim Jay moves in silence, helping people behind the scenes. But others clapped back hard, saying Jim was just chasing relevance and talking about business that wasn't his. One user wrote, Jim Jones run his mouth like he ran when someone swung on him. Another said, Jimmy's doing too much. We see the desperation. But here's where Murda's line hit like a bullet. Jay got business partners, 50 got brothers. That wasn't just slick wordplay. That was from experience. Murda was at Rockefeller for a year before he dipped to G-Unit. And once he linked with 50, he saw what real loyalty looked like. 50 doesn't just keep you around for a verse or a photo op. He teaches you how to move, how to make money, how to build wealth. He builds men, not just entourages. Tony Yayo's been rolling with 50 since the early mixtape days. Decades later, he's still booked, still paid, still family. He said it himself. 50 taught him how to save, how to invest, how to own property. That's not charity, that's leadership. Even Uncle Murda said he bought his first house after joining G-Unit. That's real growth, not just fame. When Uncle Murda joined 50, things changed fast. 50 didn't just give him verses. He gave him opportunities, exposure, and game. That's the thing about 50. He doesn't treat you like a coworker. He treats you like blood. Once you're solid with him, you're solid for life. His legacy isn't built on contracts. It's built on loyalty. Now compare that to Jay-Z's camp. Jay moves like a corporation. Everything's transactional. Once you stop bringing value, you're cut out clean, cold, and quiet. Just look at the track record. Dame Dash, Kanye, Beanie Siegel. All of them helped shape Jay's rise, and one by one, he let them go. When you're no longer part of the brand, you're gone from the blueprint. And let's not forget Jay-Zo, the man who literally put Jay on. Jazz mentored him, gave him his first look, and then Jay rose up and left him in the dust. Even DeHaven, Jay's childhood friend from Marcy Projects, who held him down before the fame, Jay turned his back, called him a snitch, and erased him from history. When asked about it, DeHaven said, "Who was I to him? I guess I was useful until I wasn't." That pain said it all. So when Uncle Murda dropped that line, Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers. It wasn't random. It was the truth. 50 remembers who was with him when he was broke, blacklisted, and fighting his way up. He never forgot the ones who stood tall. That's why today they're still beside him, eating, flying, and winning. Because at the end of the day, Jay builds boardrooms, but 50 builds brotherhoods. And in this industry, that's the real difference between being rich and being real. Once 50 blew up, he didn't switch up. He didn't trade in his real ones for industry friends or fake Hollywood circles. He brought his day ones right along for the ride. That's why decades later, you still see Yayo Banks and Uncle Murda standing next to him like a solid wall. They're not employees, they're family. Behind the scenes, people say 50 treats loyalty like a business model of its own. He invests in his circle, not just with money, but with opportunity. He gives them platforms, connects them with producers, and teaches them how to turn street hustle into real generational income. Fans have even noticed. 50 doesn't just help his people, he equips them to win on their own. He doesn't babysit, he builds bosses. Meanwhile, when it comes to Jay-Z, the talk online is that he's always played chess, not checkers. His relationships are strategic, moves on a board. The moment something stops aligning with the brand or the billion-dollar image, that connection fades quietly into the background. Nobody denies Jay's a genius. But even his fans admit, it's lonely at the top when your empire's built on deals, not devotion. The internet started comparing the energy in both camps, G-Unit versus Roc Nation, and it's night and day. When G-Unit links up, it feels like a reunion. Brothers who actually like each other. When Roc Nation shows up, it's like a networking event where everyone's checking their watches. And that's exactly what Uncle Murda meant when he said, 50 builds brothers, not brands. Even industry insiders have whispered the same thing. 50's loyalty is the reason he's still respected across every corner of entertainment. Rappers, actors, producers, executives, they all say the same line. If 50 rocks with you, he's rocking with you for real. That kind of energy, it's rare in an industry where people flip sides the second money's on the table. But here's what's wild. 50's version of loyalty isn't just emotional. It's strategic. He's proved that taking care of your people strengthens your empire. Every major movie he's made, TV, music, or business, somehow includes his same core crew. When he launched Power, he gave his day ones acting roles, production credits, and creative say. When BMF dropped, he pulled in familiar faces who helped shape his real-life come-up. That's why fans call him one of the realest to ever do it. And it's not just talk. There are receipts everywhere. Yayo and Uncle Murda are still on global stages, still eating, still winning, because 50 keeps the circle working. Even outside of rap, 50 plugs his people into film, podcasts, and business ventures. He doesn't just chase success, he shares it. That mindset is rare in a world built on ego and competition. Online, fans have been joking about it, saying being in 50's crew is like having lifetime job security, while being around Jay feels like an unpaid internship. That one hit hard because it sounded funny, but also true. But behind the jokes, there's a real lesson in how both men operate. Jay-Z's empire is built on precision, silence, and control. Every connection serves a purpose. 50's empire is built on loyalty, energy, and shared wins. One values privacy, the other values presence. That's why fans stay drawn to 50. He doesn't just talk about loyalty, he lives it. Like Uncle Murda and Yayo keep saying, this isn't about who's richer, it's about who's realer. Every time 50 brings his team along for another run, another tour, another show, another business move, he reminds everyone that success hits different when the whole crew's eating. That's what separates him from the rest. 50 moves with loyalty first. Jay moves with strategy first. And truthfully, neither is wrong. But one feels a lot more human. 50 remembers who was there when he had nothing. And he makes sure those same people are eating now that he's at the top. That's why fans respect him. His success feels shared, not selfish. Jay, meanwhile, plays the long game like a chess master. Every friendship, every move, every partnership, it all fits into the bigger picture. He's built an empire that's untouchable, but it comes at a cost. His relationships look polished and professional, not personal. That's the trade-off. Because sure, strategy can build you $1 billion brand, but loyalty builds you a family that'll ride forever. The internet's still split. Some say Jay's the ultimate boss. Others swear 50's the real one. But at this point, it's not even about money. It's about energy. 50's loyalty hits because it feels real. You can see it when he clowns Yayo on stage, when he shouts out Uncle Murda on Instagram, or when he plugs his people into new wins. That's what fans mean when they say 50 don't switch up. So yeah, Jay might run the boardrooms, but 50 runs the hearts of his crew and his fans. And that's why this story went viral. Because it's not just about hip-hop, it's about the difference between business love and real love. But now I want to know what you think. Are you riding with 50's loyalty or Jay's strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading all of them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next story on your screen right now, trust me, it's even messier than this one.